Hi friends, I'm Yamini and welcome back to another video from the Saffron Box. Today I'm going to speak about the sixth house and what does the sixth house stand for, what does it mean, and what is the significance of the sixth house in our daily lives. Okay, number one, this house, the sixth house, is very important in our daily lives. Why? Because it deals with, first and foremost, our health. Okay, so to sustain our life, we need sustain the life force. We need good health. So this house more or less talks about what is the status of your health. Okay, then it also talks about our daily routine. So what do you do in your daily routine? How are you? Are you quick on your feet? Are you lazy in your daily routine? Are you hardworking? Do you, worry too much about what's going to happen? You wake up with worries every day in the morning. So this house talks about all that. Okay, and this house is called the, it deals with diseases. So it's called the Rogsthan. Okay, it deals with your enemies or any sort of opposition which we come across. So it's called the Shatrubhav. Okay, then it deals with debts. So your debts, your loans. So it's called the Rinabhav. Okay, this house also shows your mother's siblings. Okay, because it is the third from the fourth. The fourth house is the house of mother, and the third from the fourth would be the mother's siblings. Okay, so your maternal uncles and aunts, how are they? Are they contributing towards your life, or are they causing trouble? Okay, this house also deals with your any sort of injuries or wounds which you get. Also, as I mentioned, worries, disappointments. Okay, so the function of this house basically is to, you know, uh, pose challenges and issues. Okay, so each one of us, everyone who's taken birth on Mother Earth, has to go through certain challenges, has to go through certain, you know, obstacles, disappointments in life. So the sixth house tells you what kind of struggles or what kind of issues or what is it that you'll worry about. Okay, so this house is also a growth house. It's a upchay sthan also. The third, the sixth and the 11th houses are called the upchay sthan, and this house is also part of the Arth Trikon, Earth house. Okay, so it also shows how will you grow, because till the time you do not get over the obstacles in life, the disappointments in life, how would you grow? Okay, so it shows the growth. So it's the Upjasthana, and it shows the daily challenges which one has to face. So again, whatever we do daily, whatever is part of our daily routine, is finally what decides what we are going to do finally in life. So daily routine. Okay, and this house interestingly also talks about the bhava of service, of social service. So your since it also represents health, it also represents the healthcare providers, so the people in the medical profession. Okay, and since it represents diseases, doctors, it represents deaths or your litigations, then it also shows the lawyers or the advocates. Okay, so it's a very interesting house. I really like to study this Dusthanas or the Trik bhavas, because they also they on one hand they show the problems, and on the other hand they also show the solution. So it's all rolled into one. You have to see, you have to put your mind and study. Yeah, so interestingly now, this house is the 12th from the 7th house. The seventh house belongs to our spouse, our partner, life partner. And the 12th from any house, if you count, is always, it always shows the laws of that house. So if one is undergoing some sort of a separation or a divorce, God forbid, or any sort of a litigation also for that matter, because seventh house also represents other people. So whom do we get into litigation with? We get into litigation with someone, with others, our opposites, okay, other people in our life. So the sixth house also shows litigations, court cases which carry on for a long time. Okay, so there are various planets, like for example, benefics in the sixth house are sort of wasted, because it's a Trik bhava, it's a Dusthana. There should be a malefic here to actually counter all the troubles which you get in life. Okay, so two negatives make a positive. Okay, so if you have a strong if you have a good malefic, a strong malefic in the sixth house, like Mars, like Shani, Saturn, like Rahu, it is good for you. It is good in the birth chart. Okay, now talking about benefics like Jupiter or benefics like Venus are considered wasted in the birth chart. They would rather be placed somewhere else. They would rather be in the Kendra. They would rather be in the trines. Okay, now for example, Jupiter placed in the sixth house, I have seen that it's sort of Jupiter is a sweet planet, so usually people with Jupiter in the sixth tend to they are more prone towards diabetes, obesity, because it's a daily routine, and what comes in a daily routine is sweet planet. So one tends to be habitual to sweets, to things which cause obesity. Okay, but on the other side, Jupiter or Venus can also sort of make you compromise with your enemies, compromise with your opposition. So one tends to have less opposition in life. Okay, now talking about malefics, Sun over here would actually one tends to, wherever Sun is, that area is something where you show your aggression, you show your dominance. So it could happen, depending on the other planets in the chart, that one sort of there's all your hidden enemies, because it shows this house shows your enemies. All your hidden enemies come into light. So the Sun here brings all the hidden enemies out, and you're able to deal with them very well. Okay, if there's Moon here, one tends to be worrisome, because and I've also seen that people who are always people who are hypochondriacs, they're always worried about worried about their health. They may be fit and fine, healthy, but they'll always be worried. Okay, I mean, they'll be worried about the water they're drinking, what they're eating. They're always worried, and they take too many precautions. They generally have Moon in the sixth house, because they're very worried towards their health. Okay, so there can be an excessive disorder, compulsive disorder. Okay, now talking about the malefics, Mars, Rahu or Saturn do very well here, because a malefic in a malefic, as I said earlier, is good. Mars is the army commander. Okay, Mars is the chief of the army, of the planetary cabinet. So what happens? Mars gives you the ability to thrash your enemies. Okay, so usually what happens with people who have a strong malefic in the sixth house, they are able to tide over their opposition very nicely. Okay, so generally their opposition does not stand for too long in front of them. Yeah, so Rahu in the sixth house, again, that also is a good position for you to sort of deal with the opposition, because Rahu again is a clever planet, is a clever malefic planet. So it gives you the wherewithal to deal with opposition. Okay, this house also deals with the digestion. Okay, so what kind of digestion do you have is something which this house decides. So a good malefic actually promotes good digestion. Sun, Mars, so your Jatragni or your digestive fire which you have is good. Okay, and the sixth house, the Lord of the sixth house, wherever it is placed in the chart, shows diseases pertaining to that part of the body. Okay, and it also shows the struggle which we have in our lives, so say if sixth house is placed in the say second house, sixth house lord is placed in the second house, it might show that there is trouble in acquiring wealth. Okay, sixth house, say if it sixth house lord goes into the seventh house, it might show that there are troubles with your partner, or it can be your business partner, it could be your spouse. Okay, so that shows the, in a way it shows the karmic debt. Okay, so those relationships also are, we are karmically tagged to such people. So we tend to face struggle, we tend to face hardships in those relationships also, wherever the sixth lord is sitting. Yeah, so that's pretty much about the sixth house as of now, and do keep watching the Saffron Box. And in case you've missed out the previous videos, do go back and have a look, and do not forget to subscribe to the channel, tap the bell icon under the video, and you will get notifications on a regular basis. So thank you, God bless.